Hi everyone, welcome back to iProject Education. This is going to be our fourth lecture. And in this lecture, we will introduce function, which is kind of a way to structure your code more properly or more cleanly. Um, we will not necessarily introduce some new concepts from the 3 lectures previously. So what is a function? A function in programming is a black box. You could think of it as a black box. So it does a specific functionality by receiving inputs and outputting outputs. So as a user, you just need to know what outputs you expect it to produce and what inputs you have to input into it. So normally it has these 4 elements: the function keyword, the name of the function, the parameters or inputs, and the return or outputs. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, why do we use function? It's because it's a way to structure your code more professionally. Um, as you will see later, function could divide your code into smaller pieces so that it's easier to read, use, and maintain, and you could reuse it. So for example, if I want to do some multiplication between 2 numbers, then every time when I want to do the multiplications, I could call the multiplication function without necessarily copying and pasting the same code over and over again. So with that being said, let's go into our lecture note for today. Okay, so this is an example for a function definition. And if you are the developer, you are the one who have to define a function. Some languages will require function declaration and definition separately, like in C++ or C. But since I use Python for the demo, so in Python, you don't necessarily distinguish these 2 concepts. You just have to know that if you want to implement a function and you don't import it from other users, like assume you are the developer, then you have to do the 4 things to create a function. The first one is function keyword. In Python, you will use def to indicate that you are creating a function. It's not a variable, it's not a statement, it's a function. So you have to use the def keyword to indicate this is a function. And then you have to make a name for the function. For example, multiplication. Theoretically, it's better to be a descriptive name so that if another people want to use your function, they will know that exactly what the function is doing. And you will have parameters. It could be none, it could be nothing, but you have to have the bracket, and you have to have return. It could also be nothing. And for Python, if you don't explicitly write the return statement, it will return none by default. So this is one of the examples for function definition. We will review that. So this is the function keyword, the def. This is the name, we call it multiplication, and this function aims to do multiplication between 2 numbers. So you could write some comments here. Normally it's 3 dots. And inside here you will write like the purpose of the function, like return or something. And this is the return statement. And x and y are the parameters or inputs. And when you call the function without writing the def keyword, if you just write the function name and then give the inputs into it, this is called the function call. So if you are the user, like assume you have some existing functions and you want to use the functionality, then all you have to do is to write the function name and pass into some parameters if necessary. Because we are using Python, we don't distinguish the types very much. But in the Intro to Java lectures, we will teach you how to distinguish between functions by looking at the number of parameters. By first look at the name of the function, and look at the numbers of parameters, and look at the type of the parameters, and there will be some complicated concepts in like object-oriented programming, the OOP, when you're doing inheritance work, etc. But these are more advanced concepts. For now, you just have to know when you want to call a function, you have to write the function name and then give the parameters or input. Normally, this is like the hello world strawberry is a one-time thing. What is meant by this? It's like you will not extract the hello world strawberry anymore after this line. So, but if you want to call this value for multiple times, the best way for you to do is to store it into a variable name. So this is exactly what we did for the variable definition. This is gonna be the value side, and this is the assignment operator, and this is the variable name. So in this case, the multiplication 1, 2 will be evaluated with the x multiply y, which is 1 multiply 2. So the value is going to be 2. So this is exactly equivalent to multiply equal to 1 plus 2, which is 2. So remember, it's going to be like we assign 2 to a variable named multiplied. So if you do this, then every time when you call the multiplied, you could have access to the value evaluated by the function multiplication. But if you don't do that, then the hello world strawberry is not going to be stored. So yeah, I think that's almost the end for this lecture. And as always, we've designed some questions for you to do a self-check. You can see the link in the comment. And great job. This is almost the end for the Intro to Programming World. And starting from Lecture 5, we will use Java specifically to teach you more advanced topics in programming. And see you there.